So a triathlon is making your life 3 times harder, I think. I think the triathlon does the talking, not the medal afterwards.
It's always about different ways of learning, I think.
If the performance is good and I've done what I came there to do, then I'm going to be happy.
His strength became stronger as he began to know himself. Ollie was diagnosed as dyslexic when he was at junior school. And I got a phone call saying, can you come in and see us? And he's, I think, classed as a compensating dyslexic. He's got a high IQ, so he's bright, but as soon as you start to sort of progress through the school, then it becomes harder and harder. He came to my attention in year 7, and it was clear that he needed some support. I remember teachers saying that you were taking a long time to do things.
I remember sitting in your room doing the test, and then it took so long you were giving me chocolate.
It was a lucid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it showed that you had a massive discrepancy between your reading age and your spelling age, and it was a processing thing. It was the time it took you to actually work things out, and that's when we started working together.
And being with Miss Goodall was a bit like almost like a safe space. I really struggle to do something if there was no end goal. I think that's really hard. I need someone to be. When I was a bit younger, I was a bit upset because my brother was always very literate and didn't have to put very much effort in, and he didn't try very hard, and he could read, and I was always really frustrated by it. But I don't think I really ever let it. I don't think I was ever really embarrassed by it too much. I used to get a bit annoyed when people used to either expect a little from me or expect me to do a lot.
Ollie's very scientific and very mathematical. So do you remember in English even we worked a structure out almost, like you virtually did a similar story.
I now don't understand how people don't do, like when my brother's like, I can't get marks out of English and geography, I'm just like, how? It just seems so logical now.
And like poems and things, because he was good at shapes. What did I say you used to do with a poem?
You turn it upside down, because the first thing you look at is the shape of the poem.
Yeah. And then look at the words, and then look at other things. And from that,
with a shape.
You would learn that. You learnt then, didn't you, how to analyse something according to its shape and the lines. And yeah, English is a creative subject, but the way to get Ollie to work on what he was doing was to have a structure.
Like college, I don't like it if someone goes and picks on me to read, but I'll still read, and I don't mention it because I think it's probably quite healthy that you have to do things that you don't like. And I don't know if they can ever be too competitive, but I think I am very competitive. So my sort of first sport that I did where I was sort of good at it was cross country, which I did at junior school, and I got good at about year sort of 5 age. Kept coming 2nd and 4th, and I can't stand not winning, and I wanted to win something, and I wanted to see some form of improvement, and I wasn't improving as much as I wanted within running, so I thought I'd try something new. So I thought I'll move there for the running, and I can always give the triathlon a go and see if I enjoy it and how well I do at it. I think it's like going upstairs. Every single time you win something you don't expect to, you've taken a step up, and that means you're now on this new step, and you've now got to compete at that level, and actually can I get to the next step up? And I like getting better, quite like that measurableness. I like to be able to actually go, you can see what I've done, rather than it being something that other people judge.
I think the thing that I've seen with Ollie from his racing over the last couple of years is his actual confidence grow and his ability to be able to play to his strengths. And I think that sort of maybe has come from that sort of maturity of trying to put in place other, you know, strategies for education as well as sort of sport, really.
He's self-motivated. He talks to people and he asks advice of people, and he's very much monitors his own times and wants to do better and works out how to do it. He's a bit of a phenomenon, really.
I quite enjoy spending time on my own as well, so I find the whole triathlon thing is my thing, and I quite like that, whereas I'm not massively outgoing. I like spending time with other people, but not as much, and I'm not really into parties or alcohol at all. I really enjoy the swimming, so you start with your warm-up and then you do some drills, you do a bit more volume and a bit more strength, and then towards the end you'll do some faster stuff. That bit at the end when you feel like you're going to be sick in the pool is my favourite bit. If I haven't emptied the tank, I don't feel happy with my performance. I never like to wear a medal after a race because I don't feel like I did it for the medal. I've done it for myself.
In his age group, he's competing in the age group up to 40 if he's doing just the open events. And so to be beating guys that are significantly older and stronger than him, and I think the camaraderie that he gets, so whenever he finishes they all go up to him and have a chat and they're giving him tips, and he really thrives and he always takes on board what people say to him. There was a championships in May in Pontevedra in Spain, so that was sort of how it started. He qualified for that, so he got all his Team GB kit. That meant he wanted to then qualify for the World Championships. Unfortunately they're in Canada, so it's slightly more expensive and a bit further afield, a bit more complex, but yeah, that was his mission.
I want to win, and I'm training to beat the people that are going as well.
I really respect where he's come from, where he's got himself to. He taught me so much in that 5 years about how a very, very intelligent student manages being dyslexic, because he was so different to all the other students that I'd worked with that he made teaching him an absolute delight. So I'll always be grateful, I think, to Ollie. I hope he makes it as far as he possibly can with his sport, because he'll always have his brain, he'll always have his determination, and when the sport fades and ends, he'll make it in something else, because that's just Oliver.